In the bottom right, in the yellow.
GJN2's hydra, 신동원.
Protoss opponent for SKT T1 in the teal.
SK Telecom T1 Classic, 김도우.
Very early scout here for Hydra, and it looks to be that he's going for a 10 pool on this two-player map, on his map. No, adds the drone size. Excuse me.
So now he's got 3 more drones coming up here. The Protoss is just cranking out some probes, and we got to wait and see where they take this game, depending on what build orders they have. So we do have a little bit of downtime here, Wolf.
Yeah, we do indeed. It is going to be a forge opening, notably here by Classic.
Getting that forge there.
And we'll see how he wants to take it next.
And there is the spawning pool there for the Zerg. Now, cannon rushes are pretty popular just in general nowadays. There's so many different ways you can do cannon rushes, and each cannon rush requires a different, number of drones and the angling to stop it. So we just see forge openings a lot. And then if they just see that, the Zerg isn't just quite prepared, they'll go for it, man.
Yeah. Well, the hatch gets blocked here, so he takes the third first. And that's what this drone scout is all about that we saw at the natural. It's now blocking the Nexus. Sees, are you going forge or not? Okay, you're going forge. Well, I'm just going to take my third base instead, and I'm not going to be cannon. I go for a spawning pool first as well. I don't think he's actually is he really going to kill the cannon here?
Yeah, he is.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. And now these drones can actually kill this. He's going to have to cancel this first one. It's really about the third cannon.
Yeah, it's with this one that's tucked up here at the top.
Yeah. Other ones are basically just buying time for it. I wonder if that fourth one he just made there was necessary. I don't think so.
Okay, here come the Lings. Does this work out?
Well, the first cannon's
almost done.
Finished. Could even wall it off even tighter. Gonna even fight with the probe. Just
actually letting that other cannon finish. Oh, this is really bad, man. He's getting a lot of drones with this.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. He needs to get the Ling over there, but he's not getting it. Even target firing here really nicely.
He's actually keeping the probe here so Lings can't fight there. And
wow,
he got 10 drones. He's now up 10 drones.
That was crazy, man.
He killed a Ling with a probe. That probe has 3 kills.
He's just going to make another cannon. He's not stopping.
He can make a pylon here and block it. Could actually make another pylon here.
Oh my God! It just keeps going. All right, okay, that's where it actually ends.
Well, if he loses that Overlord, oh God. Oh, he does have 2 bases up. He took the third base during all this, so it looks like he doesn't have a natural, but like if you look at the mini-map, you know he actually does. Look at the resources lost, though. More resources actually lost for Classic, but it's what happens next. The more resources that he's mining, that's more important than the resources lost.
That's really the whole point, is that he can just keep proto boosting out probes. He gets a safe expansion. The Zerg would have wanted to expand first to that location that was being cannon rushed, but he couldn't, so he had to expand somewhere else. So that's a longer drone transfer. I mean, there's so many variables that really just hurt him here.
He's ready to drop that gateway to block this if he needs to.
Come at me, bro.
There's a lot more Lings coming up here, but I think with that cannon
gateway's
placement,
actually going to be done. He could drop the core there.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. And it goes down. So can't break through that probe fast enough. Too much damage output on the cannon. And so now 2 base against 2 base, but much better, much safer economy here. Tech-wise also really good for Classic, who has the core coming out, and there's no queens on the map for Hydra. Those are even delayed. So he made so many Lings early on that means he doesn't have a lot of larvae, which means he can't catch up in drones like he would like to against a chrono-boosted double Nexus economy for Classic.
You really got to hand it to Classic. He had that cannon rush down pat. It's funny, too, because you would think that it would have been held more easily, but the probe, it was microed so well. The cannon was actually being targeted very, very well.
Oh, he was always on it.
He was like so on top of that.
He was just very meticulous about that. And that's really, really important. Because if you can eliminate the big damage dealing Zerglings, then all the drones will die. So some people might say, well, why didn't he target the drones? The drones die faster, and then he just does the job that way, but it just doesn't work that way. Like, the damage output of the Lings is more important to deal with.
Well, you take that out because the chance you can keep the cannon rush going, because, you know, that does snowball. Once the cannon gets up and then, you know, the scale tips in your favor, then you're going to lose even all these drones while they're trying to run away, all these other workers. And, I mean, that's just it. You're no longer allowed to try to transition back into a normal game here. Even now, you can see the Zerg is still behind from what happened. It's actually 33 drones to 41
because
probes.
Because he delayed his queens, so he didn't have the larva injects to get that Zerg mechanic going to catch up in drones. Whereas Chrono Boost is just always on.
This is one of the many powerful tools Protosses are using nowadays to you know, guarantee their to guarantee a win.
Yeah, a tempo advantage at the very least. I feel like a lot of Zerg players would have seen this, especially with that many cannons at first, and been like, no, I'm just not even going to try to take the space. You advanced a lot of cannons, that's fine. Cancel those. Damn,
Classic is like so on top of everything. This guy is everywhere. Just took out those Lings with the Oracle. The Oracle now headed down here. Look at this. He's going to make the Hydra have to make spore crawlers. That's just less drones he has.
He's paying money to lose drones with this.
Yeah, yeah. And don't forget how game number 2 went, so he's going to get spore crawlers everywhere, as we can see one down there already. Because last time he didn't get any spore crawlers, and he really paid the price for it.
7 kills on this Oracle already. Of course, most of those were the Lings earlier. Just 2 drone kills.
Yeah, 2 drone kills, thank you. And now we just see the Void Ray being made.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going into that same style. Safe Robo 2. 8 workers killed, 14 Zerglings killed throughout the course of this game. And he just has the better economy about to be ready here.
I mean, Zerg has been so behind. Only just now has Zerg caught up in workers. The Protoss' tech tree is like done. Zerg's layer is getting close to finishing, but I mean, Protoss has got this crazy war machine set up.
I think the T1 coach is just like, all right, we've seen Hydra play before. He always does timings, and if you can mess up his timings by getting into his head in the early game or messing up his economy early on, then he's not going to hit you with those, and you're much better in the late game. You're a great late game PvZ player. So let's think about like how we can get there. And I think, you know, these builds are specifically made for that. On Waystation, it was a funky game because it was Waystation close spawns, which is a weird map that a lot of people argue just, you know, we just don't really see games like that because they're so short. He gets caught off guard, doesn't get to do his plan. But in Game 2, his plan succeeds. In Game 3, his plan is so far succeeding. And I worry for Hydra here a little bit.
By the way, Hydra does spot the 3 Stargates, so I mean, there's no secrets this game. I mean, he knows exactly what's coming at him. It takes a while for the Protoss to get that many Void Rays together, so I mean, the Zerg can come up with a solution. I would assume at this point in time, if he knows what to do, he should be able to pull it off to stall this. But you know, I do also have to go back here to that initial cannon rush really hurting him. Maybe he just doesn't have enough time to catch up.
Yeah. That could be what's up here. I mean, look at this. This is something we've seen since the beta of Wings of Liberty with Void Rays and Observers. You know, just anything you can do on the already weak creep start we've seen from Hydra before. Queens were late in this game. Just everything is going Classic's way. He hasn't won the game yet, but I mean, he's at 12 minutes and 20 seconds, up 14 supply on even bases with the Zerg player.
This is really the point in time where the Zerg, had he not been interfered with early on, the scale would be tipping to where, okay, now Protoss has to survive. Zerg's going to start getting maxed out. Zerg's going to be, you know, like this battering ram at the entrance of your second or third base trying to tear it down.
He's going to
trying to survive.
He's going to try to just kill this hatchery with Void Rays.
This might just work because look, he's making a pylon over there at the upper right.
Yeah, anything they can't finish. Yeah, anything they can't finish, he can warp in Zealots to kill.
Yeah.
He's just going to go for it, and he's got the recall available. I think this hatchery is a goner.
Look at this.
He's just ready, waiting to hit that recall button.
On the flip side, bro, he just gets out, and he just actually snuck over there, shot it down, and is like, whoop.
Doesn't even lose really any hit points on any of those units. Can do it again later.
Really nicely done.
Okay, I thought that pylon was closer to the other side. I was confused on the location there. Never mind. That pylon was not in range to warp Zealots and to finish it off.
Oh, even tagging those Hydras there. Nicely done. Now, there's 13 mutas on the way. This is a pretty serious muta presence.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity because that's the pylon location I thought he was putting on, by the way. This one is going to be important later. There's enough Void Rays to deal with a small amount of Mutalisks, but not this many, not just yet. And he doesn't have any Stalkers, not a single one on the map. And he needs to identify these Mutalisks are coming, so he can switch into Phoenixes too. That's so many Mutalisks he's making now.
Yeah, and, well, let's see. He could get this 4th base up here, and if he could just make a few cannons around there, maybe there's not that much his opponent can do for the time being. I mean, this is still a sizable number of Void Rays here. Mutas are good, but you got to think, like, when you're against this many Void Rays, things can get out of hand pretty quickly.
Oh, yes,
but if the Mutas actually do win the fight, let's just say that they do, oh man, Classic's in so much trouble because he's spent the entire game getting those Void Rays and he's back to square one.
That things spiral out of control when you lose even just one fight against Mutalisks. And here we go, 3rd base, totally unprotected here. The probes are fish food right now.
They're getting wrecked. The army comes up now and pushes him away over here at the top. Hydra headed to the right side of the map. More Phoenixes being pooled up together here. But for the time being, a Hydra does seem to have free reign on the map. He's able to do a lot of damage and get in, get out. Really unscathed.
Yeah. The thing is now he's switching into Corruptors because he knows the Phoenixes are coming, and then a small number of Phoenixes with Corruptor support on those Mutalisks are going to do great. It's a bit of a dance that they have to play, of course, against the Void Rays. Just keeps doing these tiny Zealot Warpins. He's trying to keep the Mutalisks and the Corruptors back while he builds up the infrastructure to deal with the Mutalisks. This is a good technique that you could use in late game PvZ or even towards the mid to late where we're at right now, where you just keep that Zerg mobility used to defend, not to attack, so you can build the answer to the composition that the Zerg has built.
Look at that War Prism still poking around. Well, you know, Hydra has done a very good job. I got to hand it to him, considering the blow he took early on. You know, I mean, he's definitely back in this game and doing okay.
Yeah, he's playing a much better late game this game than he was in the previous one.
The real question is when Classic pushes out, is he going to be stoppable? Oh, nice angling here. And this is a problem here. If he could just get that right angle.
Ooh, losing the Phoenix.
Oh, he doesn't have the range yet. So, I mean, once he gets that range, though, that's going to be a different story. For the time being, though, you know, Protoss is turtling. Protoss is basically under siege from the Zerg. And if he moves out with this big Deathball army, he's putting himself at risk. Also, you know, he didn't get to get that 4th base up. Protoss really wants to have that 4th up so they can really back up their army here with production.
Ton of spines in the main base, knowing those Warp Prism harassments were a big problem for him in the previous game. And just in general, if you can afford to do that, when you have 25 minerals in the bank, you might as well get insurance.
Yeah. Just, you know, the Zerg on the 5 bases, man. Zerg looks great. I mean,
yeah, he's making his creep spread is actually being used this game. He's got
he's got his bases connected and everything. Damn. You know, it's so funny because whenever you see Hydras and Phoenixes, you always want to run away. But when you get this many Phoenixes, I guess you can't pick up the whole army. Nice shot there on them. But did he overextend? Is he stuck in here now? The Phoenixes are at a really good angle. They can actually chase them all the way back home. They can even stay below him here.
Yeah, if he stays below them and the Corruptors have to turn and fight, that's when the Void Rays come in. And the Void Rays with that prismatic alignment. Here we go. He's going to start picking those Corruptors off. And this is a big problem.
Yeah, he is taking out everything that the Zerg worked so hard to get. Now look at the money right now for the Zerg. Well, like 2 seconds ago, he was actually like 3K and had a 1K gas, but he's now remaking all this. But this will trigger the Protoss to start to move out here.
Yeah, and he's trying to kill these Overlords. This is a very scary moment because, you know, he's trying to switch into Swarm Host. He just got those Infestors out. Now, these 4 Infestors are almost everything right now. If he can lock down those very expensive Phoenixes while they're all stacked up. Maybe he can take a few Void Rays with him. That's how he's going to defend here because he doesn't have the Hydras out yet, and the Swarm Hosts are not really useful.
Oh my
God, oh no! He loses all those Infestors, and the Corruptors die in the rally as well. Oh boy, this is looking bad taste as this base is forfeit over here.
Now, keep in mind, he needs to get... Oh, actually, I spoke too soon. We don't need to keep in mind at all that he needs to get a 4th base. He'll definitely get that for sure. I didn't see he had the Stalkers and the Zealots over there until we just put it up on screen.
This is a bit of a control mistake here.
What is this? This is really bad.
And now we're going to go ahead and fight this. And he's just got too much with the Phoenixes here to fight the Corruptors. But against those Hydras, he needs to make sure the Void Rays are safe. That Colossus is having a mid-game crisis over there.
Whoa! A mid-game crisis? You're so funny. He's going to have to buy a Ferrari, man.
Colossus is like thinking about getting some new reinforced steel legs just to look cooler than the other Colossi. Well, this Hydraless count is just enough to fight these Phoenixes. He can't quite start lifting those.
Well, he's going to just tear down these rocks over here so that these Locusts can't get up there. Nicely done. Good handling. Just buying a little bit more time here. Meanwhile, the Phoenixes are just tearing it up, man, everywhere.
Yeah, doing so much damage on this
Oh
base
my
again.
God.
How many times has he killed this base?
Oh, man. You know, I think we've gotten just far enough that the Zerg's pretty much falling apart. It's like duct tape and, you know, paper clips, clothes hangers, keeping his base together back at home.
Yeah, I mean,
now,
this is like...
This is where you could supply block so hard.
This is like when your supply of food, you open it and it's all moldy, man. It's just...
He's
got nothing.
so hurt from that 166 food to 100.
He doesn't have enough minerals to remake Overlords at all. You know, he has 450, 500 minerals now.
Well,
it's
especially
not
not
even,
with that base that he keeps losing, that he's remaking now.
There's just too much damage output. The Locusts are not even really firing. Maybe getting 1 or 2 shots off on the shields on those cannons. And here we go on the main base again.
The sheer number of Phoenixes he has, he can actually just like barge in there and wipe everything out and then leave again with minimal losses.
That's why those Infestors were so important, but he lost them early on. I don't know where the other 2 are, but okay, here we go. There they are. 1 fungal here. He needs another one. 1 is just not going to cut it here. Gets 3 Phoenixes, but he's losing all the drones. Meanwhile, most of the Phoenixes escape, and they're just going to go kill some other drones on their way out.
Well, I mean, again, this really highlights what happens when that big endgame battle occurs with PVZ, and the Zerg loses the Corruptors and the Mutalisks. I mean, Protoss has such free reign to hurt you so hard. I mean, think of how many times these Phoenixes have paid for themselves. They paid for themselves with dividends at this point in time, with the amount of kills they've got and damage they've done.
Yeah, this is, he's now got 10 Infestors here, so this is a way to deal with this because the Infestors are so good against these flying units that stack up, generally speaking. You know, unless they're not fanned out, if they're moving together, they're going to be stacked up a bit. Like those Void Rays, you see them right now, they're all on top of each other. So 1 fungal can lock down this whole army. Gets a few fungals on there, keeps chaining them together with the extra DPS of the Locusts and the Hydras. Maybe he can take a fight here.
Already continues to edge forward now.
Here's that first fungal.
He really wants to get this killing blow off over here on this base just below us.
And he's only getting a few units
Really
here.
crafty fungals, though. I mean, this is not easy to just get into.
Yeah.
He just needs to keep that chain fungal going. Is he going to get this next one? He does. Oh, my God. I'm actually getting
He just has so much energy.
Yeah, he's making this last.
Well, that's no extra Grum tasteless.
No.
Not going to last forever.
So, and now he's getting the 5th base up here at the top. Center.
Yeah, I think that with the Infestor Energy exhaust, he's going to have a hard time holding over here. He's going to have to rely on now his Hydralisk more with his Locusts. Against this many Colossi, which, albeit they're damaged, there's just so many of them. Getting those in Observers means that the Swarm Hosts are going to live a bit longer, though.
Okay, here comes the War Prism.
War Prism is a recipe for disaster if you don't have any static defense. He's even got these Zealots here already.
Oh, it looks like they're just going to get up there. Now the War Prism's actually going to the main. So he's just trying to hit enough different places that he actually can poke in with that Death Ball in the center of the map right now.
There's a lot of Zealots here, but there's so many static defense we were talking about earlier. Insurance pays off here, losing that Warp Prism.
Okay, but he is attacking over here.
Big attack. There's a lot of spores to buy time, but that's all they're going to buy.
And yeah, okay, so actually he does still hold it.
Oh, another fungal here.
And, you know, you gotta be careful in this moment because this army is so precious. It's so expensive. I mean, both are. Oh my God! But he's getting these fungals off. Can he actually get all these Void Rays?
I don't know. They're so low here. But he's going to go ahead and take the fight. He's fighting in range, so they're still doing their damage. And I think this was a mistake to stick around with the Corruptors.
Oh my God! He just lost everything. That's insane.
Well, you know what? He's got those Locusts now, and even though he lost most of his Corruptors, the Locusts keep the ground army at bay. I don't know about this.
That's one badass Stalker. damn, I mean, you realize that army got knocked down solo. Now he's remaking out of 2 Robos, 2 Colossi, and 3 Voideries at once out of obviously the 3 Stargates. But, I mean, talk about hitting the reset button there on your opponent. It's going to take a long time to rebuild that, where Zerg is not going to have anywhere near as hard of a time recuperating.
Yeah. He 18 Corruptors out on the map. He's got Archons to help deal with that, but the Void Rays are really the key unit. And now he's going into Broodlords. With all those Corruptors to work with, I mean, it's going to be a good transition. But with this Spore Coil being the only detection here,
I think he might. Yeah, he's nicely done.
Transfuse saves the day.
You got to think of, how epic this game's actually getting. We're now at about to be the 30-minute marker. We've seen these huge Death Ball armies get wiped out. He's now remade that, by the way. He's still not maxed out, though. He's at 156 supply. Almost every single expansion on the map has been taken. We just saw the Zerg lose that one over there. But, I mean, we're running out of minerals on the map, and that hardly ever happens in StarCraft II.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. Now, this Void Ray count has been significantly diminished. I think he's down to about like 6 after the next 3. But these Archons will do the damage if they can get their shots off. He needs to stay away from those, and that zoning power that he has at the front here means that this is definitely enough Void Rays to fight now, and that's 5 Colossi back there with +3 in range. Locusts are not going to be enough alone. He needs something here. He still has 4 Infestors, but they're not going to be able to chain this, especially if they walk into death.
Beautiful. He's getting the storms down here. The Protoss army is not quite thinned out yet. The Corruptors are up here. But with Archon Splash Storm, he might be able to have enough to just keep...
He's going to kill them all.
Wipe it out. Yeah, he's going to absolutely
The Colossi just walk away, and over here, this base is going to be killed by Zealots. Meanwhile,
you really got to hand it to the guy. I mean, he is dismantling this turtle Zerg rather so well.
More
Corruptors
falling.
He can actually get up here into the main. He's going to actually gun down that one Swarm Host there.
And he's going to kill the Infestation Pit first. Now, he needs to be careful he doesn't get trapped against all those Locusts. The Locusts are constantly being re-rallied between defending this base and defending the main base, so he's not getting the full value of them. There's only 9 Swarm Hosts left. And I think what he's going to decide to do here is just pull back. Oh.
No, that's it. He was SOL there, man.
I was going to say he's going to pull back and recuperate his Protoss army and end the game, but looks like Hydra was already ready to end it himself.
It was really interesting to see how Classic played. He got all the way to the end game and just made sure that the Zerg could not be everywhere at once. And while he was expanding off that, I mean, Hydra did a very good job. He had a lot of the right unit comp, but dealing with that Protoss Death Ball is just sometimes too difficult. The Colossi together with the Void Rays, and we're talking a lot of damage, a lot of range. The Infestor is a very brittle unit.
When those 4 Infestors came out, and he didn't fumble the Phoenixes, but he lost the Infestors, I think that was the real turning point in the game, because the Phoenixes just had free reign after that, killing all of the Overlords, and just flying around killing drones. There's no Infestors to lock them down.
Well, we're going to take a short little break. When we return, we're going to go on to our winners match here in today's GSL.